Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ariel and I am a PCU night shift nurse. Thank you for joining me tonight. So today's video is going to be basically a come to work with me, what I usually do at work. So right now it's about 6:40. I have to be in at Huddle at 6:45. So I go ahead and I get there a couple minutes early. That way I can go into the break room, put my stuff down, gather my supplies, grab my stethoscope, and just mingle a little bit and head into Huddle. Huddle just discusses all about the patients, any new policies or procedures. So after Huddle's done and I get report, I go ahead and I sanitize my workstation. I am that nurse that likes to sanitize everything from the phone to the keyboard to the scanner to everything, because there's a lot of germs in the hospital and I ain't trying to catch nothing, okay? After that is done, I go ahead into the supply room, and this is where I like to stock up my workstation with everything from IV tubing to needles to alcohol swabs, everything. I usually grab a lot of flushes because flushes is mainly what I use throughout the night. I use a lot of those. And then I go ahead and I like to organize my needles because 3 milliliter needles are the ones that I use the most. So I just like to organize that accordingly. After I'm done stocking up my workstation, I go ahead and I sit down. And this is where I look at all my patients' medications, and I like to write these down. What time they have their meds, what meds they have, any PRN meds, if I need to collect any urine, if I need any tests that need to be sent out or anything like that. I like to write all of this down. That way I have an overview on all of my patients and it's right in front of me. I also like to highlight any pertinent information, like this patient needed a urine or he is a AccuCheck or anything like that. This is when I like to go ahead and gather all that information. After I'm done with all of that, I go ahead and head into the Pyxis, and I go ahead and I pull out all of my meds. So for this night, this patient had some sorbic acid, albumin, vitamin, and all that type of stuff. So after I grab my medications, I go ahead and I head to my patient's room. I'll do my assessment. I'll give them their meds and so on and so forth. At this point, I was getting a fourth patient. I do work on the PCU floor, so we usually get 4. I started out with 3. So I just looked up my patient. I did their assessment. I did their med rec and all that type of stuff. And now I am heading to go and get a snack. It's about 11 o'clock. And I usually take this time to go get a snack, a little honey bun, that's what I wanted, use the bathroom, and all of that. After that, I go ahead and I sit down, and this is where I start charting. I do need to start on charting on all 4 of my patients. We chart at 8, 12, and 4, so I'm doing my 8 and 12 o'clock charting right now. It's about, 12:43, so it takes me a minute, and then look, here we go. It's 1:27, so it does take me a while to chart on all 4 of my patients. But after I'm done, I go ahead and I take a little break, a little stretch. I go on Instagram, and I take a little bit of time before I need to start on my next task. So my next task, basically, I like to go ahead and rewrite my whole report sheet. And what I like to do is I like to go into each patient's chart, and I like to look up their clinical notes, their progress notes, all this type of pertinent information that I feel like the next shift nurse would like to get. So this usually takes me quite a bit of time. So I usually start, if all things are going well in the night and it's a good night, I usually start at about 2:30, and this takes me about an hour or so. So I go ahead and I write down everything. I look up any labs that may have not resulted and now have resulted towards the end of the shift, and I write all of this stuff down, whatever I think the next nurse will need. After I do all of this, it's about time for me to head and get some lunch because my stomach is rumbling. So I go ahead and I head into the break room. It's 3:30. This is the usual time that I usually take a break, and I usually sit in the break room. I have my phone with me, so if any of my patients call, I'm there. After that, it's 4 o'clock, so it's time for me to start my 4 o'clock charting, and then after that, I go ahead and I start giving out my morning meds. Meds are usually scheduled for 6, but we can go ahead and give them an hour early. After I'm done with that and I'm done giving a report, I go ahead and grab my stuff and I am out the door. And let me tell you, I cannot get out of there quick enough. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for coming back for another one. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.